In a democratic society, the relationship between the government and its citizens relies on the foundation of trust. The trust is built upon the belief that the government acts in the best interests of the people, with transparency and accountability. However, recent events have raised concerns about the level of transparency in our government's decision-making process. The belief that the government underestimates the intelligence of the public, coupled with limited access to crucial information, undermines the trust citizens have in their elected representatives. One prevalent belief among the public is that the government thinks its citizens are unintelligent. This perception arises from various factors, including the manner in which policies are communicated and decisions are made. Public officials sometimes use the complex jargon or convoluted explanations that make it difficult for the average citizen to fully comprehend the implications of certain policies or laws. This approach perpetuates the notion that the government views its citizens as uninformed or incapable of grasping complex issues. Such an attitude undermines the public's confidence in their government's ability to serve their best interests. Transparency is an essential component of a healthy democracy. The public has a right to know how decisions are made, especially when these decisions impact their lives. However, recent revelations regarding the legislative process raise concerns about transparency. For instance, when a law is drafted, it is expected that the lawmakers have ample time to review its contents and fully understand its implication. However, in a case exemplified by the situation faced by Kevin McCarthy, the majority leader of the House of Representatives, this principle was compromised. In this particular instance, only 11% of the debt limit bill written by the White House was made available for Kevin McCarthy to read. This is just the part that he had negotiated, while the rest was redacted. This limitation significantly impedes the ability of lawmakers to make informed decisions. Without complete access to the details of a bill, representatives are unable to thoroughly analyze its potential consequences or advocacy for necessary amendments. Consequently, this lack of transparency erodes public trust, as citizens rightfully question whether the elected officials have their best interests at heart. While the government limits transparency, it fosters an environment of suspicion and cynicism among the citizens. Citizens begin to question the intentions of their representatives and doubt whether decisions are made in their best interest. The erosion of trust can have far-reaching implications, leading to decreased civic engagement, apathy, and a sense of disenfranchisement. Ultimately, this can undermine the democratic process itself, as citizens may lose faith in the ability to affect change through participation in political activities. To address these concerns and rebuild trust, it is imperative for the government to prioritize transparency. Lawmakers should ensure that bills and policies are made available to all relevant parties with sufficient time to review and analyze. Additionally, it is crucial to enhance communication strategies, simplifying complex issues, and actively engaging citizens in the decision-making process. The government must recognize the intelligence and capabilities of its citizens, respecting their right to access information that directly affects their lives. The perception that the government underestimates the intelligence of its citizens, coupled with limited access to vital information, poses a significant challenge to our democratic system. When only a fraction of legislation is made available for lawmakers to review, it compromises the ability of elected officials to serve the public effectively. To restore trust and reinforce the foundations of our democracy, it is essential for the government to embrace transparency, provide comprehensive information, and actively engage citizens in the decision-making process. Only then can we ensure that the government works for the people and the principles on which our democracy was built remain intact.